Hello, horror fans, and welcome back to a very unique episode of Dredge. So in this episode, I'm actually cutting down what really took me about an hour and a half to do into a fairly small video here. And in it, I will go ahead and show how to get the four hooded figures books during the game. So, as you can see there, I was over at the Gale Cliffs. I went ahead and captured a fish there. Now I've gone over to the Grand Marrows here, and I'm getting a mackerel. So we got the tiger mackerel over at the Gale Cliffs. Now we're getting the blue mackerel here. You do want to get the actual normal one, not one of the abnormalities. And then from here, I have to travel to a place I haven't been yet, so I am having to look on my map. I need to, in the end, travel up to the Devil's Spine. But I haven't been there before, so it's a new location. I'm trying to get used to it overall. But yes, with this, what you're going to have happen is you're going to actually have four hooded figures throughout the map. And each of them is going to request three different sea creatures that they want. My suggestion is doing it the exact way I did it here, where you capture the three sea creatures first and bring them all at once to the figure, because this is a timed portion of the game. Once you give them the first fish, or once they open the challenge for you, if you don't get them all the fish in a set amount of time, the figure will die and you will lose the reward that they will give you. So here I went over to the Devil's Spine, found this fish, and it's a snake mackerel. So now that I have all three fish, I need to travel back to the location where the first hooded figure will be. And here I'm consulting with an online source I had found that gives the actual coordinates for it, so that way I can make sure to mark it on my map correctly. Also in this video, we will be dealing with that diamond marker that I have down there at, or not the diamond marker, but a marker that I have also on the map, where we'll be getting another item. But first here, let's get to this first hooded figure. We'll go ahead and use that icon there. So as I said, what I found was, I went online and sort of found what fish I needed and such in order to ensure that I was collecting all the fish properly. And as I said, also trying to make sure that I was doing it in a one-day period when possible. Now I did find, and you will see with the fourth hooded figure, that you can use a stale fish. I don't know if rotten will work or not, but the character did accept the stale fish, so that is something that will work for you in a pinch. But I really do sort of suggest that you have the manifest capabilities as well as the haste capability here, so that way you're able to rush over to where the different fish are and to get to where the hooded figure is. So for me, I was able to pretty much do this first one here all within a one-day time period. And then you'll sort of see a pile of rocks here, and we meet the first hooded figure. You approach a hooded figure. Fisherman, please, help. You can barely hear the rasping whisper above the wind and waves. Fulfill the hunger. The hooded figure unfurls an old paper scroll. They point to a shape shown on the top that appears to be a blue mackerel. So then what you have to do is you have to deliver the fish to them in the proper order. With expert precision, they plunge their hands through the gullet of the fish and tear out the heart. They stuff it. So basically what he's doing, you can read this if you want, but basically what he's doing is he's eating the hearts of each of these fish. Why? I don't know. But that is what he's doing. So, he will tell you what each of the fish are. As I said, it is better to be prepared beforehand though, so you can use my video here as a guide if you want to, and that way you can just bring the fish already to him. I'm also showing you there the locations where you can find each of the fish, so that way it's a lot easier and you don't have to struggle with trying to get these tasks done. As I said, as long as you have the haste and the manifest capabilities there, I feel like it's fairly straightforward, pretty simple to be able to get all. So what that gives you is a unique book. And the books that they give you are actually really good ones. So this one basically will give you a discount on items you buy at shops and will give you a bonus in items you sell at shops. So the haggling and bartering one, definitely a good book to have. Then in a moment here, I will go ahead and cut to the next portion. And with that, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Stellar Basin now. So the second task can be accomplished entirely at the Stellar Basin. So first off, I'm looking for a small fish. I can't remember the name of it. I want to say it's the fang-tooth fish or something of that nature. And it did take me a moment. Found in the Stellar Basin especially, it is sometimes challenging to find the particular fish you're looking for because there's just so many different ones. But here we go. You can tell by the shape it's a very small fish, and you just need a normal one. So we got a fang tooth. I also was able to get an abnormality. I figured I might as well pick up a few of them just in case the other ones took me a little bit. Hopefully I'd have one that would still be good. Now, another thing is I have heard from other people that if you get the, one of the fish becomes infected, they will still accept the infected fish as well. So then we also need a red snapper there. Got it. As I said, this one went fairly quickly. The first thing you want to do for this mission is actually drop your crab pots. And I like putting them right by the base there, by the dock, because you're going to need a blue crab. So drop those. I would say go to sleep overnight, then go pick up the fang tooth and the red snapper, and that way you have all three of the ones that you need. Again, here I'm conferring to make sure that I have my map coordinates correct, and we're putting down the new marker. And just because my OCD wanted to be kicking up there, we went ahead and got rid of the other marker, just so it's clear as to which one we're going to. Now again, here, you don't have to use haste. I mean, really, especially with the engines I have on my boat now, I have upgraded them fully. I could easily get here just by using the engines. Part of this was the fact that I did have work that evening, so I did want to get this accomplished as quickly as possible so that I wasn't having to, you know, try to be doing this and then not sleeping enough before work. So this one's sort of just in this alcove of this island here, and he's perched right there in the yellow rope. Same sort of thing here. He'll give you some different wording, and then he'll basically point to a scroll that tells you which fish that is that he wants. So he wants the red snapper first, so pick that up and give it to him. He again tears its heart out. I find it very odd how these hooded figures are, but to each their own. Then he wants his fang tooth. Give him that. And give him the blue crab. So now from him we got the advanced fishing book. This one will actually allow you to have faster reeling speed with your different rods. So again, it's a really good book to have. So for the third one here, one of the fish we need that actually, I had given myself a little bit of an issue here with it. It's at the Stellar Basin, or at the Great Narrows, I mean. We needed a sailfish, and I'm coming over to where I normally get the sailfish at the back of the Greater Narrows here, but the problem was I had actually picked one up the day before, then realized I wasn't going to be able to accomplish the other fishing portions that day, so I sold the sailfish I had, not realizing I could still use that same sailfish, even if it did become stale and such. So, didn't learn that lesson, sort of floundering around here trying to find a fish that'll work. Struggling quite a bit, and then I was lucky enough to find a different location for sailfish here. So even if you do use up the one that you're used to finding over there, there is one right here as well. And if I could just hit my skill checks, we'd be alright. So we needed the sailfish here, and then we are also going to need 2 fish from the volcanic region this time, the Twisted Strand. Or not the Twisted Strand, the Devil's Spine. We will go to the Twisted Strand at the end for the last challenge for a hooded figure. But this time we're going to the Devil's Spine. We're going to be at the Devil's Spine a lot more than we were the first time. First time we just had to stop by there just to get that, I think it was a mackerel that we needed. This time we have to actually be at the Devil's Spine overnight. We're also putting out our trawl here. This is the volcanic trawl that I've attached to my boat, so that way it just works well in this area. I have actually purchased the oceanic trawl, and I do really like using it when I'm just touring along the map and such, because it really allows me to catch so many different things, and it's really filling out my fish book quite a bit. Next episode after this one, we'll go back to sort of normal, where I'll show you everything I'm doing throughout the episode, and we might cover the different fish that I've gotten in that time. So here I went in, and I found this frilled shark. This is another one of the ones we need. Wasn't sure how big the last one would be, so I'm trying to make sure I have as much space as possible by trying to fit this in. So the last creature we need here has to be caught after dark. And so you're going to see me sort of just trying to waste some time here, basically. I forget the fact that doing things like using the binocular or the spyglass and such doesn't actually take time, so I'm basically trying to get another achievement done by seeing a volcanic fish here. I find the spyglass really hard to use, especially with controller. It seems like it just doesn't work that great, and so it wasn't something that was benefiting me too much. So I figured might as well do a little bit of fishing here. I also caught the pale skate while I was just trawling. And basically, for right now, I'm just driving around so that time goes by, because I have to wait till after dark for the eel that I need to appear. As I said, I haven't really been into this area much at all, so I have no idea where the eel might be. And I was hearing quite a few noises you might be hearing in the background. I wasn't sure what those noises were, and I wanted to make sure that I was sort of staying in an area where I can see any possible threats coming towards me. I was curious what else I had caught. Turned out to be another one of those snakes. So now we've sort of reached nighttime. There's some kind of fish that has appeared here. Hoped that it might be the right one, and it turned out that it was. So I went ahead and picked one of those up. And at this point I'm sort of looking for where the location of the hooded figure is going to be, so that way I can enter the coordinates to my map. Again, removing the latest marker so that we can put the new one. Looking back on it, I really should have kept fishing there to try to get the anomaly. That was a mistake on my part, but you know what? I really, as I said, wanted to get over here and make sure that we got the hooded figure. I did catch an anomaly there in the serpentine mackerel. That's just creepy to me, as those who have watched my channel for a while know I am not a fan of snakes, so did not like the serpentine mackerel, would not want it on my ship. So this one wanted eel first. the sailfish, and then he'll want the frilled shark last. This one, at least, unlike the others, is being a little bit more proper and is actually using a knife to cut open the carcasses instead of just tearing at them with his fingers and eating things. He also doesn't, I believe, eat them. He puts them onto like this altar he has. So a little bit different. Sort of interesting how each one's got its own little thing going on. So again, with that one, we get another book. I believe that one was one that basically makes it where things like our trawl nets and stuff don't wear out as quickly as they were, which is a really good thing. Now, at the beginning of this little video here, you notice probably I had a black-tip reef shark with me. And that's important because here we're not going for the last hooded figure, we're actually going for another achievement. So as you'll see here, I'm going into the map and looking for where I need to be going in order to get to this achievement here. And for this, you actually need 4 different sharks. I have already placed the other 3 into this location, so we'll be able to see them here shortly, and it's just a matter of putting the 4th one in. I also did see that giant shark right there. Did you notice that? Sort of went below the waves. I was thinking it might breach and try to attack my boat or something, so I sort of backed up. Was looking around for it again, but it just vanished. Sort of interesting. It's one of the things I love about this game is those little details. Like, you do encounter so many different creatures that are in the water, and some of them are hostile, some of them are just sort of there to add to the imagery. So that one I thought, oh, it's maybe that shark again, but no, that one's actually one that I could fish for. But I don't need to, so we'll leave him be. So here we go to this altar. And as I said, you'll notice here that we already have 3 sharks in it. We have the hammerhead, we have the ghost shark, and we have the bronze whaler. So we're going to add the black-tip reef shark here to sort of complete this puzzle. And I just paused for a moment so that way you can see how they are oriented and everything like that. Once you go ahead and do that, you are given this new fishing rod, which really isn't that good. It's an abyssal and a dull. Now, I did not pay attention to where I got the different sharks from. It is possible that you could get this rod before doing the quest for the researcher in order to get an abyssal and a dull, but I'm not positive. So here we are on the 4th hooded figure. I wanted to show where we started there at the Stellar Basin, right by the research center, because I will say this is the part that actually took me the longest, was trying to find this particular fish. I had probably been looking at this point for about 45 minutes all around Stellar Basin for it, and I finally found it over here. You need one of these, the barrel eyes. So as I said, I wanted to sort of give a great viewpoint to find it from. So if you go from the research center and head out just pretty much straight across from it, you'll be able to find the barrel eye. Now with this one, you also have to travel further than almost any other. So we're gonna start here pretty much down by Stellar Basin, and then we have to go all the way up to Twisted Strand. So we have quite a distance to travel in order to get to where we need to be. So I was debating using Manifest, but I thought about it, and really Manifest isn't going to change much in that aspect for me. So I figured just using Haste fairly significantly here was probably a better idea. I wanted to make sure that I was lined up for where I was going, and I am. As I said, I'd never been to the Twisted Strand before either, so this was again one of those that wanted to make sure I knew that I was on the right course. This is another one where I do recommend bringing your pots with you, and this one, the reason that barrel eye is going to go stale is because of my pots. if you wanted to do this a bit better, you'd actually be better off going to the Twisted Strand first and putting out your pots before you go and get your barrel eye. Because what's going to happen here is I'm going to get up to the Twisted Strand, I'm going to put my pots out, but then I will find the other fish and have to wait for most of a day in order to get the horseshoe crab that I'm going to need for this particular mission. And we had a white whale, it seemed, over there. I guess Moby Dick is in the game. Wouldn't be too surprising. I mean, definitely if we're going with most of the lore for sea creatures and stuff, Moby Dick definitely fits in. So, I am looking for a fish. I don't exactly know what I'm looking for, so I am sort of taking a look and seeing if that seems about the right size for what I'm looking for. Didn't think it did. That seemed to be the same one. I'm also looking for a place that I can put down my pots where there are plenty of crab. So I had plenty for a moment there, and I released my pot. And I released my other pot. Now I'm going to head into the Twisted Strand a little bit here. Trying to find the fish that I need. As I said, I have sort of an idea of how this fish should look. There's also a creature over there to your left, if you hadn't noticed yet. And it disappeared below the waves. So I definitely was sort of cognizant about that. I decided I did want this treasure though, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Alright, so here's the fish that we're wanting. So we got the tarpon. As I said, now I've got 2 fish that I need, but I'm waiting on the crab pots because they don't have anything in them yet. So that's sort of the problem. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go ahead and sleep for a while to allow the crab pots to do their job. As you probably noticed also, I have upgraded my crab pots. Basically, I spent time off camera as I said I was going to and really upgraded my entire ship. I've pretty much maxed out all the research and I have all the different pieces that I want. So my ship is pretty much exactly where I want, and now I can just focus on the remainder of the story. So I slept for a while, checking this pot, had exactly what I needed in it, horseshoe crab. So we bring that over, and then I look at it, I can see my barrel eye has gone stale, and I've got to decide. What I was sort of thinking here is I would possibly, I'm leaving the crab pots down for right now, because if he doesn't accept the stale barrel eye, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and, I know where all 3 fish are, or I know where the 2 fish and the 1 crab are, and so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go back, do the other 2 fish really quickly, and then just come and pick up their crab from the crab pots that are just in the water. I am using haste here because I am very nervous about getting here as quickly as I can, hoping that the fish won't completely spoil and that it'll still accept it. Which, as I said, he does. So I think as long as it's not rotted, where it's no longer even a shape that can be discerned, it's perfectly fine. It is sort of interesting with that wrecked plane there. That might be something I'm going to have to visit again later, see what that's all about. But for now, here we find the last person. Fish is still stale only, which is good. And we will repeat the process here by giving the fish to this person, the hooded figure. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. If you enjoyed what I did in the video, please go ahead and click that like button. And if you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, so that you're aware when I produce new videos in the future. Thank you, and I hope to see you all again for more Dredge.